Another week, boys. Another week of Sony fails, and it just doesn't disappoint. And honestly, the copium and the damage control that has been going on this week has been surreal from Camp PlayStation. Now, you may have noticed my voice is a bit groggy and buggy. It is because I still have the C bug, and honestly, it's kicking my ass. But I found some information and I wanted to get it out there, so I really do hope you enjoy it. And if you do consider leaving a like. And if you're not yet subscribed, consider subscribing. It really helps the channel grow. It really helps the video, go out there. And it means the world to me. Right. So, for the longest time, PlayStation fans have looked at, xCloud and said it's useless, it's trash, it's pointless. Sony has been there, done that, whatever. It's all about VR, GT7 and all this. Well, Sony now have announced their cloud streaming platform. PS5 Cloud Streaming launches this month for PlayStation Plus Premium members. And as PostUp says here, watch how they start capping for cloud again after years of telling me Sony been there, done that. They tried and failed, but not focused on it, that it's all about VR. Sony doesn't care about cloud, it's about the traditional model. Sony has exclusives, so they don't need to put their games on cloud or PC because they sell millions and millions of consoles. Xbox don't sell, so they need cloud and PC. So, it didn't take long to see PlayStation accounts, as he said, start capping for cloud gaming. And as we see here, breaking! PS5 Cloud Streaming launches this month as part of PlayStation Plus Premium. I think it's actually great. It now means that you'll be able to enjoy hundreds of PlayStation games, PS5 games especially, well, not hundreds of PS5 games. There isn't hundreds of PS5 games, unless you're talking PS4 games. But anyway, I digress. You'll be able to enjoy loads of games that you can stream without a PS5 on your PC, which is great. That is where we wanted to be in the first place, and it's good to see that Sony is catching up. But it's amazing how they are all capping for it. Many PS5 game trials, again, those PS5 game trials being locked behind that paywall. Essentially demos being locked behind the paywall. Streaming 4K, which is impressive. That's actually kind of cool. They've actually beaten Xbox to the post there. Xbox, I think, is still stuck at 1080p. So that's a W for Sony right there. But, 60 FPS. I think Xbox is... I don't know if xCloud is 30 FPS or 60 FPS. I can't remember. HDR, Tempest Audio 5.1, 7.1. 3 minutes of footage recording. And as you can see, they are just completely and utterly capping for this. And, they are over the moon about it. Because, what can you say? The fact is, they originally said that xCloud was useless, pointless. But as soon as Sony does it, it's a whole different ballgame, baby. A whole different ballgame. You literally cannot make this up. Right, so the PS5 Slim has been announced, and with it comes even more failings on Camp Sony, and the damage control is getting a little surreal now. So they've had, they have a 1TB storage instead of an 825GB of storage, which is cool. They have 2 USB-C ports instead of the one. They have an optional disc drive for $80. You got the PS5 normal fat with disc drive for $500. The PS5 digital, however, has gone to $449. It's gone up from $399 to $449. The reason why they've added that extra $50 is because if you buy the drive for $80, you actually get it cheaper than the actual physical, the actual drive, built-in drive. Which actually makes it better, because if your drive ever breaks, you can just replace it. The fact that it's got modular is kind of cool. And as we can see here, here's the difference between PlayStation 5 old and new. I kind of still like the old looking model better personally. But what's interesting here is the fact that the modular drive here on the actual Slim digital, sorry, it should be here. But the modular drive that would be here isn't compatible with the old generation digital PS5. Now, they could have easily made it work. They could have easily made it so you can plug it in externally, But Sony chose not to because they believe in payers. At the end of the day, they want you to sell your digital console and go buy this digital console and basically give them more money. Give me money, give me more money. That is basically the Sony motto at this point, because it's ridiculous. Now, I've been arguing about this on Twitter all day today, and you know, people are actually in full support at the fact that the drive here doesn't need to be in support of the digital console. People who actually have the digital console say that they are perfectly okay that Sony has made the new modular disk drive not compatible with their drive, and in essence forcing them to go and buy a new console. I ain't making this up. I'm actually genuinely serious. They are well happy to go and do that. The saying that Sony is the new Apple, I kind of believe it. I'm starting to believe it. It actually gets worse though. Can you see over here? It says vertical stand sold separately. So this stand that, you know, can you see the one down here that you actually got for free in your PlayStation 5 bundles? And if for whatever reason it broke, you could go and replace it. Well, this is the new Slim one, and it doesn't come with the actual console. You have to go and spend £30 to pick it up. It's £30! It's almost half the price of the disc drive for a plastic that probably costs them less than £1 to manufacture and box. There's like over £29 in profit per sale. They are robbing these guys blind, and they are more than happy to pick it up. What is wrong with these people? I don't get it. I thought this was quite funny from Linus Tech Tips. PlayStation Slims throughout the years. PS2, PS3, PS4, and there's the PS5. Blood thinks he's on the team. I just thought it was satire. It was funny. It was funny. It was funny. So we have more bad news for Sony. I mean, it's literally not stopping. From, you know, PlayStation fans saying Cloud is bad, and now that Sony's releasing Cloud is good again. And then, you know, PS5 Slim coming out with a disc drive for the digital version that's not compatible with the old digital version. So if you bought the digital version to support Sony and actually, you know, day one player, day one buyer, you were there in brothers in arms with the Sony flag, well, they turned around and said, thank you for your money, screw you, we don't care about you anymore. Unless you go and buy our new shiny console. But as this thing reads here, this is pretty much a confirmation. Well, as confirmation as you're going to get. One insider is claiming that despite recent reports, Naughty Dog's upcoming The Last of Us multiplayer is completely cancelled. Now, I actually released a video talking about this, considering they laid off all the contractors that were working on that project, all the QA that was working on that project. It's pretty much done and it's gone. I told you all it was bound to happen. PlayStation cannot make good multiplayer games. Since my entire time on Twitter, I have never seen a single PlayStation fan post a clip of them and their friends enjoying a Sony exclusive together. How tragic. Now hear me out, right? Just hear me out. They brought in Bungie for $3.6 billion, right? To help them build live service games. What if Bungie looked at factions and thought to themselves, yo, this actually looks way better than anything we do on Destiny. If we actually get this releasing on, you know, live, we may lose a lot of players on Destiny. So we need to turn around and tell these people that their game is trash, it's not going to hold engagement, and they need to go back and rethink what they're doing. Because I'll be honest, from the people that I've heard that have actually seen the footage, seen the gameplay, they've actually said it's pretty decent, it's not bad, and many were asking for it to just be released as a beta for people to get hands on to provide actual feedback. But Sony decided that they would listen to their $3.6 billion acquisition Bungie, who can't even maintain their own game, who are actively banning innocent people, and now, after months, are going back and saying, we're really sorry, we actually banned you for no reason, and here's a little bit of silver to ease the pain. I ain't even joking. That actually happened. It's all over the internet today. But yeah, they listened to Bungie, and that's the end of Factions 2. But what if they actually turned around and looked up Factions 2 and said, this game looked good, real good. This multiplayer makes Crucible look trash. This makes Bungie, this makes our game look trash. Because don't forget, this was supposed to be like a spin-off, right? It's supposed to have its own story as well. They had its own little mini campaign and everything that was supposed to be a live service that they built upon. So Bungie be like, nah, we can't have this going out. We need to tell them that there's no engagement here. This needs to be dealt with from the top out, guillotined, before this even becomes a real thing and threatens our dominance in the live service genre. What if that was their thinking? You can't tell me that they wouldn't do it. In the end, even though Sony owned them, they are still independent and they still want value for their game. They still want to be top dog. So it's an interesting thought, right? It's an interesting thought that one of their own internal studios now could have cannibalized, their own game. Now this one is kind of yikes. Sony and CrunchyRoll, as you know, Sony owned CrunchyRoll, been out here selling our data. And it looks like they've been sued, and I think the FTC won. And now a lot of people are going to be entitled to around $30, because there's a lot of people. But you can fill up the claim form if you just look for this information on the internet. You'll find it, and you can click the claim form and then basically claim it for $30. It's still something, and at the end of the day, bad on Sony. I mean, Sony's out here crying that people are hacking them, but they're doing even worse by selling our data without even us knowing. You know the saying, what goes around comes around. Like I said, things for Sony just are not looking up. They're just not, and it looks like things just continually, they're just taking L after L after L, and it's becoming really sad now. They really do need a win at this point. They really do, because I'm starting to feel sorry for them. I really am. And, if Spider-Man fails for whatever reason, if it doesn't hit that 90 score, they've literally just fallen rock bottom. This year will have been a complete disaster for them. The Goliath is tumbling. But here we do finally come to a W for PlayStation. It's not going to do much, because you still need to give them like 130 or 160 bucks, whatever it is, in order to actually get this service. But their new games catalog, Gotham Knights, which is also on Game Pass, Disco Elysium, Outlast, Alien Isolation, which I think might be on Game Pass. I think House of Ashes is as well. I don't think Dead Island is. But these are some pretty solid games that are on the PlayStation Plus catalog. So if you do have the actual, if you are a member of Extras, because I think this is on Extras, this is a pretty good month for them. At least they're actually providing some decent games now for their increase that, they've given to their customers. I mean, all in all, everything that they're doing, they keep blaming it on inflation, but you can't really blame it on inflation anymore. Though the actual PS5 has remained the same price. I mean, I don't know if was it $499 all along? I could have sworn it was $449.99 when it originally launched. They've actually made the parts cheaper. They made it a smaller factor. They're actually getting away from liquid metal, which was, the big cost factor within the old PS5. So instead of the price coming down, it's actually gone up. And with the PS5 digital, instead of the price going down, it's gone up. And you can't tell me that the increase in price is for 150 gigabytes of data. You can't tell me that. It doesn't even sound right. 30% smaller, so that's 30% less cost on plastic. 18% lighter, 24% for the digital edition. So instead of things going down, Everything in Sony is going up. PlayStation Plus up. PS5 disc drive up. PS5 digital edition up. Now you have to buy the actual vertical stand. From it being free to $30. Up. Everything is up. It's just getting bad. It is. And now you've got the cancellation of factions pretty much confirmed. It's bad. And, you know, man, I don't even know anymore. I just don't know. So, you know, this game catalog that they're getting, a bunch of games, let them get the win. They needed this win. They really did. They really, really needed this win. It's not a big win, but at this point, they need any win they get, right? Anyway, folks, that's the video. Thanks so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Remain good.